Good morning or good afternoon, algebra students. Today we're going to discuss application problems with inequalities. This is 7.4, day 2. I believe there's 3 or 4 examples and you will need to graph, so have graph paper available. So write down the title and let's get started. All right, the first problem is about job earnings. So you have 2 summer jobs at a youth center and you earn $8 an hour teaching basketball. So write that down, $8 an hour teaching basketball and $10 an hour teaching swimming. Write that down. Your goal is to earn at least $200 a week. So write that information down. Now we're going to define the variables, write an inequality that describes our goals in terms of S and B. We're going to graph the inequality, and we're going to give 3 possible combinations of hours that will allow us to meet your goal, allow you to meet your goal. So the first thing is to define your variables. So it already kind of gives us S and B right here. So we just have to define what those will mean. Let me change my pen width there. Okay, so S will be the number of hours teaching swimming. So hours swimming, teaching swimming. Okay, and then B will be the number of hours teaching basketball. And I'm just going to abbreviate, you can write it out. All right, write the inequality that describes your goal in terms of S and B. So I would say the inequality would be $8 an hour teaching basketball, so 8B plus $10 for swimming. And we want to make at least $200 per week. So that means at least would be greater than or equal to $200, because you can make more than, but you can't make less than. All right, now we're going to graph the inequality. Well, one way to graph that we've learned is to find your X and Y intercepts. So if we want to let one of these axis be B and the other one can be S. And then we're going to, remember, if you want to find the B axis or the X axis, you would let Y be 0. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to find the B by letting the S be 0. So this cancels and I just have 8B is greater than or equal to 200, and then I just divide by 8. So 200 divided by 8, I believe, would be greater than or equal to 25. All right, so my B intercept would be, B is 25 and S would be 0. So I'm going to be able to graph that. And then I want to be able to find my S intercept, so I'll do that over here. So I'm going to let the B be 0 plus 10S is greater than or equal to 200. So I'm just going to divide by 10. So S is greater than or equal to 20. So my intercept would be 0, 20. Now I just need to graph these points. It says graph the inequality. So let's do that. So now I need to number my axis here. So I'm going to do that. So for my B axis, I'm going to go up by 5s every time, and then I'm going to graph 25, 0 here. And then I need to label my S axis, and I'm going to let those be 5 every time. So then I'm going to graph this. Okay, and then I am going to have to shade it in, right? Because it's less than or equal to. No, it has to be greater than or equal to, so my bad. So I can't erase once I've done that, but it has to be greater than or equal to, so I can make anything above this line. All right, so the red is the area that is greater than or equal to that particular inequality. It has a solid line on it because it's greater than or equal to. All right, then it says give 3 possible combinations of hours that will allow you to meet your goal. So well, you have 2 combinations. You can do 0, 0 basketball and 20 swimming hours, or you can do 25 basketball hours and 0 swimming hours. And the other thing we can do is just pick any point here that would be above that line. So you can pick any point. So I'm just going to pick that point, and I can see that I can do 25 basketball hours, and then that would equate to 10 swimming hours. So you're just using the coordinates that you would find. So this is 25, 10. And that would give me enough money, or that would give me more than $200, because it would be 25. The basketball is worth how much? 8. So this would be 25 times 8. And then this would be 10 times 10. So it'd be much more than $200. It'd be $300 when you added it together, I believe. Okay, so that's how we do a word problem that applies your inequalities as an application. So let's do another one. Okay, so the next is the same similar problem. We have $200 that we want to make, but this time we get $9 teaching basketball, and then we have $12.50 for teaching swimming. So it's the same problem. So I'm going to let my variables be the same, and they have to make greater than or equal to $200. So B is the hours teaching basketball, S is the hours teaching swimming. So again, I want to graph the inequality by finding my X and Y intercepts, in this case my B intercept and my S intercept. B is teaching basketball. And we didn't label the last graph, but you really should. So I'm going to label this one. So you have swimming and you have basketball. All right, so we're going to let S be 0 to find my B intercept. So 9B plus 12.5 times 0 greater than or equal to 100. And when I solve that, I get, I have to divide by 9 on both sides. So I get B is greater than or equal to 22.2 repeating. So I'm just going to do 22.2. So my intercept here would be 22.2 and then 0. So that's what B is. Then I'm going to do the other intercept, so I'm going to let B be 0 plus 12.5 times S. I don't like that variable because they look alike. Then I divide by the 12.50, 12.5, and when I do that on the calculator, S is greater than or equal to 16 hours. So my S intercept would be 0, 16. All right, now I'm going to graph these particular points. So I'm going to label my axis, and then I'm going to graph. I'll just do this in red. I'm going to go up by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 22. So my intercept here, 22.0, is about around a little bit bigger than the 22. Then I'm going to label these. So this is 2 and that is 22. Then I'm going to label these by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. So there's 16. It starts at 2. And then I would put my other intercept at 0, 16. And then because it's greater than or equal to, I do a solid line. So anything on that line would satisfy the inequality, or anything above the line. So then I would say give 3 possible combinations of hours that will allow me to meet my goal of making $200. So I could pick any 3 points on this line, in that section, or even on that line. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to pick this point, then I'm going to pick that point, and then I'm going to pick this point. You could also use these that we found. These are the S-intercept and the B-intercept. So the first point that I pick is, let's see, 2, 4, 6. So 6, 16 would be 1. So combination of that would mean 6 hours teaching basketball, 16 teaching swimming. Then I could do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So this is 12 and then up to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 12 hours teaching basketball and 10 hours teaching swimming. And then I can also do 22 hours teaching basketball and 4 hours teaching swimming. And those would be 3 different combinations of hours that would allow me to meet my goal of earning $200. Okay, we have one more example, I believe. Let's see. Okay, so now instead of making money, we're going to spend some money. So for this example, you're going to work for 1 week and you make $200. And you have to decide what you're going to spend your money on, either ice cream for $4 or going to the movies at $10 a ticket. So we've seen this before in another example. Let's write and graph an inequality that describes your possible spending. So our inequality would be, let's see, I'm just going to do X and Y this time. So X is going to be the ice cream. And then Y will let be what? That's the movies, the movie ticket. So X is ice cream, Y is movie ticket. So I'll put an X here and a Y, and I'll label that this is ice cream. And I'll label that this is the movie tickets. Okay, so now I want to write my inequalities. So I'm going to do $4 times my ice cream plus $10 times my movies. And I'm spending money, so I don't have more than $200 to spend. So I have to be less than or equal to $200 this time. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find the X and Y intercepts. And I'm going to graph it as a solid line because it can be equal to 200. So I'm going to do that now. So first I'm going to let the Y be 0, less than or equal to 200. So that goes away. If I divide by 4, then X is less than or equal to 50. So my intercept there is 50. X is 50, which is ice cream. So I can get 50 ice creams and no movies. So that's the first one. Then I'll change color. I can let the X be 0. So 4 times 0 plus 10Y has to be less than or equal to 200. So then if I divide by 10, then my movie tickets has to be less than or equal to 20, which means I can do 0 ice cream and do 20 movie tickets. Then I have to graph these, so I'll just graph it. Ice cream goes up to 50, so I'm just going to do 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, just to make it easy. So 50 ice creams, and then 0 to 20. So then over here, maybe I would do 5, 10, 15, 20. So that would be my other intercept. So I have an intercept here, I have an intercept here. And then I have to draw a solid line. And probably if you made your axes like smaller, the numbers smaller, you would get a better graph. All right, so this time I'm going to graph below the line because I have to spend less than that amount of money. So then I can pick 3 possible, now it doesn't even tell me to find possible combinations, so I don't have to, but I could, and I would know that anything in that red area, any points in that red area would satisfy my inequality. All right, I think that's it. Yes, that's the last example for how to apply inequalities to a word problem. All right, I hope you have a great day and be ready for your assignment.